Like, what's your favorite physical thing to do?
I feel like, honestly, just like the act of like getting out of your house and like going to the gym and like something about just like being there is like, it feels rewarding. Just because like when you're there, it's like, I'm not being lazy. Like I'm doing something right now that's like actually helping me.
Hi, welcome back this week to The Naked Doctor. I'm Dr. Tammy.
And this is Cryssie.
We have a very, very fun show.
Oh, yes, we do.
We have our children here today.
Yes, our children. Not all of them, but some of them.
Some of them. A couple of them. The well-behaved ones
up
showed
today. The ones
today.
that we could wrangle in today.
I think it's really interesting. I had a patient contact me not too long ago and said that her daughter was really struggling and that she'd started college and, you know, what do they call it, the college 15?
Yeah, that freshman 15,
Freshman 15.
which can sometimes be the freshman 40 if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened to me. I mean, I know I went to college, and especially like when I was in school, you know, it's just you study and you sit a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, it kind of just happens. And then I think even when it happens, it's happening sooner and sooner, you know, and especially like the last couple of years when people have been extremely sedentary and staying at home a lot, it's like we kind of looked up and we just become really sedentary.
Yes,
and put on
inconvenience. Part of that freshman 15 or 40, in my case, was that freedom all of a sudden, and that whatever I wanted was easily available to me, and it hadn't been in the household because my mother was a little more strict about what we ate. But now that starts earlier and earlier because out of convenience or because all the parents have to work. There's not someone to say, here are the guidelines of what's healthy. Mm-hmm. And then you go out in the world and maybe go a little crazy. Kids are getting to go a little crazy as their day to day. So what do you do with that?
Yeah, for sure. This is Donnie and this is Beck. I don't think we even introduced them. We just kind of started our thing, didn't we? Yeah, you know, it's interesting because now we have the age of video games. Mm-hmm. And that's what got us, you know, and I try to be the health and wellness girl, you know, and I help people with weight loss. That's, you know, a big part of my practice. And it's like, I wasn't even, you know, helping at home. And I think that's kind of the biggest message that we should share with everyone is it begins at home. Mm-hmm. And if we're not doing the right thing or we're drinking sodas and we're, you know, just not making an effort to exercise and do all the things, they're modeling us.
Yes. And so the bad habits and the good habits begin at home. The problem, but also the solution begin at home. And we can't expect someone else to reach in and fix that for us. And it's hard. It's hard to set a good example. I mean, we say that, here I go saying that again. It's actually not hard once you start turning it little bits at a time, and we've shown that, and that's the example that we're going to show today, is that those little micro decisions build up over time and affect not just you, it affects the health of the people around you too. So,
and it's all about the decision just to make a change, and that's kind of where we went. I'll let them tell their stories, but yeah, it's just I looked up one day, and then they start driving, and then now
they're full on adults and
eat.
Driving around, and
you can't control the stops to McDonald's, and then you know it's just you wake up one day and literally, and it's so gradual when they're with you every day. And, you know, they're just kind of gaining weight. It's like you look up one day and it's like, you know, like this patient, she said her daughter had come home from college and she had new clothes when she went off to college, and she was crying when she came home because she couldn't wear those clothes
And that's
anymore.
Heartbreaking as a parent. And you want to do the right things because you don't want to be that hypercritical parent that may have triggered some of those bad habits in you to start with. So where do you go? How do you change it? And that's that moment of decision. What do I do next?
Yeah, and that's what we're going to talk today about, and some things that you can do. And one of the turning points for me with Donnie was, you know, you ask your kids to do things and pick up stuff in the yard and stuff. And one day we were picking up stuff in the backyard, and he was doing that. And I'm thinking it's just a teenager grunt, right? And I'm like, feeling like that disrespectful vibe like we get, you know, feeling from our kids sometimes. And he was like, Mom, I'm 60 pounds overweight. over 60
This
pounds
is effort.
overweight.
This is not me pretending to be and pouting. This is effort.
It's like somebody
Donnie,
strapped
I'm sorry to
a
hear that.
60-pound bag of dog food on my belly, and you're
I'm doing a
asking
lot
me
of
to
extra
do
work
this.
here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So wonderful show. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about their stories and what they did to make their changes. And between everybody on this set right now, it's funny. You're saying how much weight everybody's lost.
Yeah, we'll try to do the math while we're
Yeah, we'll try to do
camera.
the math. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with the Naked Doctor. Welcome back to the Naked Doctor. I'm Dr. Tammy.
And this is Cryssie.
We have a wonderful show. We have our children in the house.
Our children as guests today.
This is Beck and this is Donnie. And they're going to tell their stories in just a second, but we were just doing the math over break about how much everybody on the set has lost, and it was
245 pounds, roughly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
cumulatively.
what was
which
yours? Yours was 105?
I've lost 150,
150.
myself.
Wow.
So yes,
Yeah.
that's a person. But combined, it's a linebacker. That's what we decided. We've lost a linebacker. Absolutely.
I think you won.
I think I won. Yes, I did. I lost to Justin Bieber. I think we figured out one day. That's good.
So Beck is my niece too. You probably know that Cryssie and I are sisters. Would that be, if we're sisters, then they would be niece and nephew? Yeah. Sisters by choice, of course.
Sisters by choice. Sister-in-law sounds like you're like bound together somehow. Like the law says we have to be sisters now. Okay. What?
By choice.
This is great. But Beck got to see my weight loss process, and I know you have your own complete vision and take on that. But from my observation, around the time that everybody got closed in and school became virtual, and that activity of daily physical activity, some of the structured things that you had went away, and then those food is available to me all day kind of increased, and suddenly you were going, Mom, my pants are too tight. Exactly that. Yeah. And I discussed, well, this is what I do. Here's what you could do. And we got you over to talk to Dr. Tammy, and things just went great from then because you followed all of that. But I would love to hear what you had to say.
I feel like it really was helpful, like seeing your whole transformation, because it really was I remember one time I hugged you and I was like, wow, I can reach all the way around you. This is it's crazy.
I know, I do that too with him. I'm like,
yeah, it's whenever I was little, I was just I was used to it. I didn't think anything of it because it's my mom. It's that's just how it is. But then when she lost all the weight, it's wow, you're tiny. It's smaller than I am. It's crazy. But it was very helpful just seeing that. So whenever I did, I was like, hey, I think I might need to lose 20 pounds because I'm getting a little overweight. It wasn't hard because I had seen you lose over 100 pounds. So it's it's not going to be very difficult. And especially seeing you with taking the carb melt and getting advice on how to change my diet and everything. It was just really helpful. Yeah.
So I have to give her props because you made those choices in the moment when Dr. Tammy or myself is not there, and you're the one to say, what do I want to choose? You've gone to the gym on your own. You've made good food choices on your own. So props. That's really, I'm very proud of you for that.
Isn't it great when our kids are so mature that we see them and we really are so grateful.
And to get the tool at this age, how old are you right now, Beck? Would you mind
16.
saying? Yeah, 16.
17.
So you've already got these tools in your tool belt now, so whatever you encounter in life, and we know there's ups and downs, and there's times when you make good choices not as good, but you know what to do. Because you've done it.
You've done it. I'm so happy. And
So
a
proud.
lot of times when I visit with people, especially with their children in the room, I'm always thinking, the kids are so kind of whatevs, and so I don't even think they're really hearing me. But both of you were very engaged when we had, the conversation. And we did blood work. And we had, I don't want to give away your personal medical stuff, but we had some concerns on the blood work.
Yeah,
And so family
yeah.
history of diabetes and stuff. We had to have that conversation, and you listened, and it's
Yes.
very rare.
But
they
that was
listen.
that moment of choice, and I do have to say, as a parent, you can't force that choice on your child. It almost takes that uncomfortable moment of them coming to you and saying, oh no, I put on some weight and I'm sad, or I'm crying, or what do I do? They have to get at that moment of choice for you to say, I've got a path for you, but it's your choice, because you have to be strong in those moments that I'm not there to remind you.
Yeah. Teenage years are a little tough too, because they sort of start growing into their own person, their own thing. Donnie's 19 today. Happy birthday.
Yay, happy
Thank you. I really
Yes.
appreciate it.
So he's just done wonderful. And same thing kind of came to me one day, and he's like, and then, we kind of, it's awkward because you don't want to shame them, and you kind of struggle with all these little pieces of how do I do this? And I'm working out, and I got a home gym after everything got a little weird the past couple of years. But, and then I'm like, hey, you want to work out with me? No, I'm playing video games. And then, then it was like, after that aha moment, then I really sort of started trying to find a way to not shame him or make him feel bad, or like,
Right.
anything was wrong.
And
with
then
him.
where do I also need to clean up the examples that I'm giving, because
Yeah.
I can't talk it if I'm not willing to walk it to show you how it needs to be done.
Yeah.
So when people do that, if you're shoving Oreos in your mouth while you're on your phone, which we've all been
Yes.
guilty of, and going, well, you need to go to the gym is what you need to do. Okay, that's not the best example
Start
to
at
give
home.
to your kid. No. So that was a lot of what you and I, when Beck was younger, there was a summer program at a local gym where you could get them their own little membership, and we did that for a summer just to get you comfortable with what machines are like and what the atmosphere is like, not thinking, you need to start doing this every day, but should you choose to come with me, I'm not forcing you, should you choose to come with me, this will be a place where you feel comfortable and you can walk around and do whatever you need to do and not be afraid. A lot of us keep from taking those important steps because there's anxiety wrapped in there of, are the people going to be looking at me? How do I do this? So that was made familiar so that when you did make the choice to go to the gym, and that was a birthday present, was your own gym membership, you feel free to do that without me, and that's now a thing that you do.
I think you do have to learn to do that with it. They say exercise buddy, but the problem is when the exercise buddy, it's cold, or it's wet, or it's rainy, or they're sick, or they have
when
something
it's
else
cold.
to do.
That's one of the
Oh,
worst,
no,
when you
it's
sit
too
in the car
cold.
going, there's no one forcing me to do this. I don't have to go in.
Yeah, so if you're dependent on a buddy, and also one of the things we did was, got him a trainer too, and he would want me to go with him, and I'd be like, I'm not going to. I'm doing my own thing because I don't want you dependent on me if I can't go or if something interrupts that. But I'm going to let you tell your story, kind of what your thought process was when you made your change.
Yeah, so a lot of this came around kind of the turn of 2020. I really wanted to start my weight loss journey, and I didn't really have much of the courage to. I didn't really think of it as like something that was important to me because I just wanted to get through high school. I just wanted to do certain things, and one day I'm just sitting out there and talking to my friends, and I'm like just sitting there and I'm looking at myself like, this is ridiculous. I mean, I've wasted most of my late teenage life just sitting here and doing nothing. So I decided I'm going to make a change. So, I asked you, like, do you know a personal trainer? And the stars aligned to such that, I could get that. And I'm down from 280 to 225. I mean, last time like when I first weighed myself,
Quick
I
applause,
was 283.
because that's so wonderful and not an
Thank
easy
you.
That
thing.
too, yes.
Yes, and congrats to Mom for responding when he asked for help, and you said, "Hey, okay, let's do that."
And I feel much better. I feel like I'm a kid again. I mean, I can run around, I can jump on trees and stuff, and I'm
can see
able to
that.
run around in the yard. I'm able to keep up with my friends for like the first time in my teenage life, which is just such a good thing for me, and it makes me feel really good to be at where I am now.
That's
We had been
wonderful.
planting little seeds too, so it's kind of that thing. We checked an insulin, we checked
Yeah.
labs and stuff, and just to kind of check overall health. And I'd always we let soda. I don't drink sodas, haven't drank sodas in probably 10 years, but there's that whole parental guilt thing. It's like you bump your knee, you get a cookie, and so it's like the Happy Meals and the soda and the Happy Meals.
Yes,
and, so
and it's not going to hurt
became-
this one time, but then that one time becomes a habit for
Constant.
them, and they don't know any different.
Yeah,
So.
constant. So, we checked his insulin and blood sugar. We were getting a little bit in trouble there with that. And so I'm like, you're going to be sticking your finger, diabetic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that was
This
kind
could
of a
get real,
pivotal
real
moment.
quick.
This could
Yeah.
get real quick.
Yeah, I haven't touched sodas after any of that. Like, I think I've been clean for about 2 years now.
Clean
I
from
like it.
sodas.
Clean.
Clean
Yeah.
from sodas.
We're all clean.
All right, kids, they're saying it's time for a break. So we're going to take a little break from the Naked Doctor. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk just family on the couch a little bit more.
Yeah.
We'll see you right here, right back in just a minute.
I was so excited for Ryder to get home and try this flavor because I knew he would love it. The fruits and greens. It's strawberry and kiwi flavored. He throws it in a glass. He loves this little stir. It creates a tornado. It's all about the fun. Fruits, veggies, fun. Hello, let's do it. Fills it up to the tip top because that's satisfying, right? I knew as soon as he grabbed that straw he was gonna love it, but I didn't think he'd have the whole glass down in under 3 minutes. His whole daily servings of fruits and veggies done.
Welcome back to the Naked Doctor. I'm Dr. Tammy.
And this is Cryssie. And we are here with our own kids, making a great example about when you make life changes, how it affects your family, and then how to work with teenagers when they're at that point, or if they are at that point where they're not feeling really satisfied with their body. And we're addressing more than just how do I feel about it. We're addressing insulin levels,
Health.
we're addressing your health overall and what it's going to lead to. And I was someone that struggled at a young age, so I went into my adulthood with, I felt like an incomplete toolbox, and it took me quite a while to understand hormones, and I had to take the path of the tool of surgery, which worked for me, and I'm very satisfied with where that's gone. But it wasn't an easy fix. We talked about that. And then being able to give those same habits to you, the positive ones. Here I had the fear that I was giving the negative ones to you. Oh gosh. And then I realized that I could do that in the opposite direction too. I could give you positive, but it wasn't in a way that I stood over you every day saying, hey, you don't want to be fat someday, don't put that in your mouth. I was trying to be nurturing, loving, sympathetic, empathetic, all of those good things. And then you have taken that to such a great level. So on the side of, that's the mothering side of things, but on the teenager side of things, I would like to hear what have been those, like the favorite physical things that you've done, those things that have really helped you along this path? Like what's your favorite physical thing to do?
I feel like, honestly, just like the act of like getting out of your house and like going to the gym, and like something about just like being there is like, it feels rewarding. Just because like when you're there, it's like, I'm not being lazy. Like I'm doing something right now that's like actually helping me like get to a goal that I've set. So like just being able to like get up out of bed and be like, I'm going to go to the gym today, and then doing that and then getting back and then like taking a shower, and it's like, hey, I just went to the gym. Like it's cool.
Accomplishment. It's like an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Woo.
And like if you're talking like specific physical activities,
Yeah,
I like
what's your favorites?
like I like cardio, like running. That's always fun. I don't know. I don't do like a whole lot of.
I know you run around with your dog a lot.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
do
know if you
a lot
count
of
that
walks.
as true exercise. And that's one of those sneaky things that are, like walking your dog or hiking or doing something fun with a friend that's physical, you can sneak that stuff in. It's still going to the museum and walking around.
It
Totally
does.
physical activity on top of the deliberate, let's do 20 minutes of good cardio. You know, you start working more of that stuff in, it just kind of sneaks you into being smaller.
I don't think people should use that as an excuse. I'm very active. They'll tell me I'm very active, but you have to do a dedicated calorie burn.
Yes.
If you want to lose weight.
Yes, if you want to lose weight. But there's
what is active?
I'm just
What's your
saying there's
definition?
also active
Yes, and
things.
it does.
When
It adds
all
up.
of your the activities that you do for pleasure involve a restaurant, that's a bit of a problem. Some of your activities should involve park and walking dog and climbing some stairs and going to, you know, a museum, not just always this all the time.
I feel like finding cool parks, that's a good
been a
activity.
thing,
Just go outside, like Google, like where's a cool park? And then just find like a little trail and walk down a trail.
We have so many trails in the area that we live. It's ridiculous. So if you had a piece of advice for yourself before you started this, like if you go back in time and whisper in your ear and say, hey, what would be your biggest piece of advice for somebody?
Honestly, just don't overthink it. I feel like it's really easy to start thinking about like, oh, how am I gonna like plan all this exercise into like daily routines, and like how am I gonna remember to like take these supplements, and like, you know, just worrying about like how it's gonna go. Just do it. Just go to the gym. You know, like, go.
Just
The only time you can take action is right now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So just do it.
don't like worry about like, oh, when am I gonna do this? Just if you're bored, like, hey, I could go to the gym right now. Throw on a pair of shorts.
And the time
Go
you're
outside.
being active is time you're not putting food in your mouth. So it's just kind of, it's doing something, kind of like video games. It's like, and when you're a teenager with lots of testosterone, a boy, you know, it's just, food's just on your mind constantly, and, you know, just crazy.
Feed the machine.
Feed the machine. And really the changes when he was ready, you know, I don't know why I didn't do it sooner to support him, but he told his trainer, she said, well, what do you like to eat? And he said, food.
Just food.
Why not make that healthy food? So we really
Yeah,
made
I'll
an
just make
effort.
different food
Different
available.
food available.
I did
It
do a
was
lot
easy.
of sneaky, I don't want to call them sneaky, they were just gradual changes in my house. And I feel that there is an instant barrier that comes up if you make the loud announcement, we're not having sugar in this house anymore, and you push everything off into the
everybody
trash
freaks
and you
out.
la, 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 everybody freaks out. But if you just, in the decisions, now that you're back at the store, start making those transition things. We moved from dairy to almond milk that way, slowly over time. And we made changes from sodas and diet sodas to tea. And now we're drinking unsweetened tea for the most part. And slow changes, and then not purchasing those, you know, no
we
more
don't keep it in the
Pop-Tarts,
house.
no more little, and we change over to healthier things. You're the one that's making the home purchasing decisions at that point. So you have to be stronger too. That's where your own habits are coming into play.
I feel like, you know, I'm working long hours, and it's like I want to have a little treat, and I want to bring him home something because I'm having this parental guilt too. So that's easy too. But yeah, so they're saying it's time for a little break. When we come back, Donnie, we're going to let you talk about your journey and what was the pivotal kind of, what your favorite things are and what you go back and tell yourself before you started, if you wanted to kind of speed that along.
All right.
So we'll be right back, and I have Donnie's story in a sec. See you in a minute. Welcome back. We are at the end of our show. Unfortunately, we're wrapping up, but I think it's so important that, you know, we kind of get your story a little bit too, Donnie, and, you know, kind of what your process really looked like. I will say, you said those little changes, I kind of got in there because I got him a pretty trainer.
A good looking trainer
Him
probably
and
didn't
hold him
hurt.
accountable. And then I don't have to be mean mom, like, why aren't you working out? Because
Yeah,
he
yeah.
has to be accountable to her.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. I'd say, a lot of my process was, if I had to go back and say, this is what I need to do to lose all this weight, and my favorite kind of activity is really weightlifting. I mean, that was a huge thing. I actually won a powerlifting competition a few weeks ago, or was it a month or so, around that time?
Congratulations on that, too. That's a wonderful accomplishment.
Yeah. So that was a big thing for me, because there's something about weightlifting, and it really, you can do cardio for an hour or lift weights for 10 or 20 minutes, and lifting the heaviest weight you can possibly lift for 10 or 20 minutes is the same as doing an hour or so of cardio. It's crazy, like, how much weight I lost just doing weightlifting. And of course there's, you got cardio in that, running on the treadmill, really getting in shape. I mean, right before the competition, I would run probably 3 or 4 miles on the elliptical we have at home, just trying to get off those extra few pounds. And I actually made it into the competition a few kilograms underweight.
Wow.
So
we didn't know if you were going to make it because we found candy in your room
yeah.
today. It was like
no.
all these wrappers. I was like, oh, we're never going to make it.
So yeah, it really was, it was kind of a
cheat day.
Yeah, cheat day.
Cheat day.
I couldn't even drink water. I mean, it was nuts because we were trying. He's like, I'm so thirsty. I'm like, you cheated.
I know, at the
You have to pay the price.
At the competition after weigh-in, they had a bunch of bottles of water there, and I was just like chugging as many as I could down. Like, I'm so
dehydrated.
I think it took me about 2 weeks to actually get rehydrated. That's how like bad it was for me.
And that's not healthy, but
No.
and it's good to have something to work towards, like a competition, because it keeps you really focused, which I highly recommend that too. But I think that it's just, not safe to do dehydration, so that's not the goal. But
Yeah,
you
no.
can cut weight pretty fast, and if you're trying to make the goal, I think those little times really pay.
I highly recommend that anybody who is just losing weight for fun, don't ever dehydrate yourself, because
no, it's a painful
awful.
process.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about
is.
inflammation too, and you have to hydrate those cells to get the inflammation down. So it's not a healthy long-term thing. Awesome. Well, they're saying it's time for a wrap up. You can find us all sorts of places. We're all over social media, and our website is The Naked Doctor Show. So check us out, The Naked Truth About Health, Wellness, and Lifestyle. And we just try to have fun, and we come every week. And I like the living room set.
Yes, I do like this living room set when we have, well, of course, when we have family over like this.
Of course. And we never really talk about your day job, and they can find you Low-Key Magical.
Low-Key Magical with the K, and I am on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and anywhere that you find this Naked Doctor recording, YouTube.
I thought you were going to say this Naked
you
Doctor.
can find this Naked Doctor, then you can find this lady right here. All of my links will be everywhere that those videos appear.
Yeah, awesome. So check us out if you have ideas, you have questions, ideas for shows, or you'd like to be a guest, just let us know. And we love you very much and wish you a blessed week and just health and wellness for your families and for yourself.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you back here next week on The Naked Doctor. Mwah.
Bye-bye.